Teach Crest International. So today we want to learn a very interesting skill. Yeah, I'm a driver by profession. Yeah. So I want to learn what a model town board is. MTB. A model town board is a representation of all our road networks in Kenya and within East Africa drawn on a board. So it's just like a map, that we do in geography, only that this is a representation of all our road networks in Kenya. Someone can also say that a model town board is an example of our roads in Kenya and East Africa drawn on a board. So it's a drawing representing the roads used in driving school. So we have different features of a model town board. These are also known as components or elements of a town board. Just the same way, for map work, we could say elements of a good map include maybe availability of scale and the compass direction. So also we have features of the model town board, what you can see within that model town board. So first we have the roundabout. It's over here. So a roundabout, it's a form of junction where vehicles meet without colliding. Someone else can say it's a form of junction where vehicles enter in and out without colliding. And what you can see is that roundabouts aid vehicles to change directions, as we shall come to see later. Another thing to note is that a roundabout has entrances and exits, which are 4 in number for each section. So we have 4 exits and 4 entrances. Then other elements of a roundabout, you can see the lanes or the spaces. So that is the path followed by a motor vehicle. You can see hapo katikati between the dotted lines we have the lanes, also known as spaces. So that's where the motor vehicle follows that path. Then we have the white broken lines. When you see the broken, it means you're allowed to enter. Yeah. So the lines are marked on the road basically for tracking, yeah, and to divide the lanes. The reason as to why they are white is for visibility, and being broken is to allow accessibility as well as crossing, as I had already mentioned earlier. Then we have the traffic island, which you can see there, the green one at the center, also known as no man's land, also known as a roundabout circle or a traffic circle. So usually what you can find in a traffic island are vegetation, edge grass and flowers. So for decoration, you can find city clock to show people time. You can find billboards for advertisement and containing barriers. We also have traffic lights. That is in case if it's a controlled roundabout. Some roundabouts you find we have the traffic police doing that work, but where we have controlled roundabouts, the traffic lights are used. We shall come to see later about that. So the function of a no man's land is to facilitate or control movement of vehicles in different directions, and number 2, to determine the size of roundabouts. And this brings us to the question of the types of roundabouts we have based on the size. One, we have the mini roundabout. Mini to mean small. So this is the smallest roundabout. It has a single carriage to mean that you find we have two-way, being a single lane. We have one lane for moving maybe to the right and the other one towards the left. Then we have the ordinary roundabout. So this one has 2 lanes and it's found on dual traffic roads. Then we have the enormous roundabouts. These are the kind of roundabouts that have 4 lanes here. So they are usually found in the largest being the Global Cinema in Nairobi. Still on the roundabout, we have rules of the roundabout. The first thing, the category 1 is you're not to stop within the roundabout. You're not supposed to park within the roundabout. You're not supposed to wait or stand within the roundabout. Category 2, you're not to change lanes nor overtake. And category 3 is that you're not supposed to reverse. So we have 6 rules: no stopping, no parking, no waiting, no changing of lanes, no overtaking, no reversing, period. Then we go to the parkings where you get to park your vehicles. We have 2 types of parkings. We have the controlled parking here. These are parking. So we have controlled park zones, also known as angled park zones or secured. They're usually at 45 degrees, like you can see here. They're enclosed. That's one of the characteristics, and that's why you can see they are called enclosed parkings or ample parking, because there's a lot of space. The rules of the controlled parking zone is that you park salon cars, the ones which are four-wheeled. You don't use entrance as exits, or vice versa, side that you use the exits as entrances. No, the entrance is for entrance, exit is for exit. Then you start from the far end left, so that other people can be able to park. For example, if you start to park here where the hand is, and you have parked there yet the other place are not parked, definitely it will mean that people will assume that the parking zone has already been booked up. So you need to be conscious while parking. Another thing, the parking is done with a forward gear, that is gear 1, to avoid obstructions or knocking. Then as you pull out using the reverse gear. That is for controlled parking. Then here behind the controlled parking, we have what you can call parallel. You can also known as general, flash, or uncontrolled, unsecure, or stage parking. So here it's insecure because there are no guards that are employed to take care of such zones. So there you park temporarily because it's insecure. Then you begin from the far end. Which gear do you use? You use the reverse gear, so it's the opposite of the enclosed gear. Then you pull out with the forward gear. All cars, you can park the salon cars, everything except trailers, lorries, and trucks, because they occupy a lot of space. Just imagine if we parked here, the roads will be unable to move because there'll be obstruction. So we park everything except trailers, lorries, machakara, chiroli, na kadhalika. Then we have the road reserves, the ones which are painted green, as you can see. This also known as side pavements or green fields. They are meant for future expansion and extension. So they are bordered with vegetation such as trees, grass, and flowers. So if a road reserve is bordered with vegetation, it will be called an avenue. But if it is bordered with temporarily permanent buildings, it will be known as a street. That's why we have, like in Nairobi, we have Lodholi Street. You can hear of avenues like Moi Avenue, Haile Selassie, etc. Then we have the central pavement, this one. So the central pavement also is a type of pavement that sets a boundary or divides 2 roads of a one-way traffic road. They're usually found at the center of a one-way traffic road, for example, take a superhighway. So they're used to separate 2 roads. Then we have the double yellow continuous being used to divide. Now, another thing, we have exits from the main road. These are used as shortcuts, like here. Yeah, so those are shortcuts, also known as exits. So they're used when one has no option to make a U-turn in a roundabout, or the roundabout isn't clear. For example, maybe an accident has occurred, or there are casualties. So you're unable to use that roundabout. You're allowed to use the exits. Otherwise, you use the main route. Yeah, you can see we have the direction showing arrows, which show direction of the road. We have this one here near the exit. We have the ones which show you whether you're going straight, and you're going straight, then turning left or right, etc. Then we have the yellow painted curbs here. These ones are meant to protect the government road reserves. Yeah. Then they aid in counting of lanes. So, for example, you know, from where you're seeing the yellow curbs, that's where you start counting the lane. So you know whatever is near the yellow curb is the first lane. You don't count from the center, you count from the yellow curb, so it helps to count. Also, it helps to separate highways and earth. Yeah, they're painted yellow to mean no stopping, no parking, no waiting, no dropping in some places. Yeah, that's the function of the yellow painted curves. Another thing, we have white continuous lines. So this is a representation of a stop sign where we are supposed to stop to pave way for oncoming and incoming traffic. I don't think it's here really, but I will get to show you later. So it's a stop sign. Yeah, then we have white broken lines. These ones, like here. Yeah, so that one means that you are allowed to slow down and give way for overcoming traffic. It's a giveaway sign. Yeah. Another thing, we have a one-way traffic road, the ones like on near the hand on my right. Now that is on my left hand side. So basically you find we have vehicles which are single way. They're divided by use of yellow continuous lines to mean overtaking. If they're broken, we have the cross to mean that you can overtake, you can cross, and also do U-turns. Then we have pedestrian crossing. Yeah, where previously people used to call them zebra crossing, but remember, people are not zebras. So pedestrian crossing. So it's a special path designated for safe crossing of pedestrians. So when you approach a pedestrian crossing, you need to reduce your speed. Another thing, we have 3 rules of the model town board. One is to use the shortest and most correct road without using parking. The second rule is you use the longest and most correct route without using parking. And finally, you get to use parking as the last option. Some other rules, the extras, is you park from the farthest, then you give way for vehicles from the right in the roundabout. Yeah. Why do we have these rules of the model town board? It's basically to save oil and time. Yeah, you need to use the most correct road. And remember, you are doing in math things like vectors, so they're really helpful when it comes even to driving. Hope you've enjoyed. Until there, so tomorrow we shall be looking at road signs and highway signs. Bye.